All right, welcome everybody. We've got 4 practices in, so I guess the simplest way to put it is we get 25 more. Is that how many we get? 29? So we have 25 more. We're going to probably have to use every one of them to get ready to play those first games. So obviously making progress. The attitude's good. You know, like what I see out there as far as an energy standpoint. The biggest thing and the biggest difference from this year and last year is it seems like we got a lot more bodies out there. You know, we got about 30 freshmen that are all taking a bunch of reps, which is fun. You know, we're repping about 3 deep at every position, sometimes 4 deep at every position. So, you know, obviously we got a long ways to go, but we're going to have the ability to take a whole bunch of reps. We're running more team plays than we did last year. We're running more skill plays than we did last year, more inside plays than we did last year, because we have more bodies. So the more we're repping these guys and the more we get to evaluate them, the more we'll figure out what the starting lineup's going to be. But it's going to take some time before we get there. So I'll leave it at that and take some questions.
You talked about the freshmen. Is there a criteria they have to be a special team starter, 2 deep offense and defense? Is there something in your mind that says, yeah, we play him, no, we redshirt him?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's it's tricky. I mean, you don't want to happen what happened to Ivan 2 years ago, where, you know, he's, you know, if he's not in the 2 deep or if he's not able to play some special teams, then redshirt him. You know, you can always pull the red shirt 3-4 games into it, which I wouldn't have any problem doing if he can help the team. But basically, and we won't even talk to him about this until about 3 weeks into it, but we just see where they're at, and if we feel like there can be a contributor, and then we'll play them. So, you know, and I've been saying for a year that we'd like to play a lot of freshmen, and I think we should have played probably a few more freshmen last year. But if they can help, they're going to play. There's no doubt.
Dan, is it realistic to think you could have double-digit freshmen playing?
I think that's a given.
Can you give us any kind of update on Juwan Snow at this point?
He's in a red jersey today. You guys saw that, so I don't know. We'll see what he's like tomorrow. Keep in mind what the injury policy is. I mean, I don't want to sit here and talk too much about it. If the guy's done, then I'll be the first to tell you. Other than that, just assume that they're day-to-day.
Have you learned anything through the first 4? I mean, I know you said it's not real football yet, and you're still not in full pads, but have you learned some things about these guys?
I like their mentality right now. We're trying to obviously develop some leaders, just like everybody across the country is trying to develop leaders. You know, probably have a few more on offense right now than we do defense, but the defense, you know, is playing like they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and you know, to me, they're flying around and they're playing hard. So, again, the longer we're out there, the more we play, the more we'll be able to try to develop some guys like that. But you know, there's so many snaps left that there's going to be a whole bunch of things that will transpire here in the next 3 weeks.
Dana, with the new special team stuff, I know you do a lot as it is, but do you have to do more now? And not only that, but I mean, contact, things like that, maybe more than normal, just because you might have more contact this year?
No, it would. The same schedule. Right now we're repping 3 deep because we have more bodies, which that's going to have to change. It's hard to rep 3 deep. When you have this many new guys and you have this many different people involved, the tricky part about it is there'll be times where I'll be calling plays offensively and I don't even watch what happens offensively. I'm just watching specific people to see where they need to fit on specific special teams. And with all the new guys, not only, you know, when we rep 3 deep offense and defense, we're in the back of our mind saying, okay, where can that guy help us in some special teams areas and stuff. So the plan's the same. We're going to take the same amount of meeting time and the same amount of practice time, and we're gonna practice that the same way we did last year. But the tricky part is evaluating all the bodies to make sure we get the right people in the right spots. And that's a moving target too. It is a moving target all of last year. I mean, that never changes. Special teams is a different animal than offense and defense. You just play a whole bunch more people.
You talked about playing hard today, and I mean, we were out there for just half an hour, and we had to see 3 fights break out. Is that a good thing this early, or is that something you'd rather avoid till they hate each other? Something they did.
Nah, we're not fighting because we hate each other. We're fighting because there's the aggressive nature of what these kids are like. I mean, we had more fights than I would like today. There's some people across the country that would like to trade places with me because they can't get their guys to fight. I've been in that situation before. So, you know, that's just intensity, and it's competing, and people get aggravated. If it starts hurting the drill, that's when I say something about it. You know, if it's a quick little fight and they're tugging on each other and all that, and it breaks up, it's no big deal. But and it happened later on in practice where it disrupted the drill, so then I had to get involved in it and calm everybody down and try to make a few of them throw up, and then we continued the drill.
You mentioned the young guys. What impresses you, the physical or the mental, with these guys if you're considering playing?
I don't know yet. There's a couple of them that are picking things up quicker than others. Obviously, it's hard for the O-line. You know, Tyler Olowski and Panky are running second string right now. I've never had two freshmen run second string. Now that can change, obviously, when they start getting overloaded and maybe some other guys pick some things up. You know, the physical nature of these guys is pretty good, I think, from a freshman standpoint. And a lot of it has to do with the NCAA is allowing us to do now, which is bring these guys in early and let them work out with the team for 2 months. That's obviously beneficial. So, you know, physically, I'm happy with what we're seeing out of them. It's a little early to tell about the mental part of it. As far as how many busts and all that stuff, I mean, we've obviously just evaluated three days of film. And after this, we'll go in there and evaluate the fourth day.
Dana, have you got yay or nay one way or another on Bernie?
Don't know yet.
What's the drop dead date on your guys who are in summer school now too? What do you do?
I think the 10th is the final day of school.
Are you concerned about a
Couple.
lot, a few?
Couple. We would just leave it at that. They're still in school, so I mean, I mean, things haven't came back that said yes, they're good, or no, they're not, because they're still going to school, which makes it hard for us, obviously. But there's a couple of them that we're concerned about. It's their own fault because they could have finished this up earlier in the summer, and they didn't. So right now, it's affecting. I'm not going to tell you who they are, but it's affecting their reps. I can tell you that.
You said 3D might be a little too much on special teams. When you're looking at offense, I mean, how many guys do you want to rep when you're working on?
Well, yeah, three deep right now is fine. I mean, it's because we got a lot of time, and there's no time restraints or any of that. We're just trying to play as many snaps and as many reps as we can get to where we can evaluate it. It'll get to a point, obviously, the closer you get to the game, you got to start narrowing down on who you're going to count on. So we're just trying to evaluate everybody to figure out where they're at, and then a week and a half before the first game, we'll probably split up and start doing scout teams and prep teams, and then we got to figure out who goes with scouts and who we start repping. So we got a lot to do between now and then. Same thing on special teams. We can afford to rep a lot of players right now to teach them, meet them, show them the film, and rep them. And then the closer you get to a game, you got to start narrowing down exactly who those people are going to be. Try to make the best decisions. A lot of football between now and those decisions that need to be made.
Dana, would you say you're going into like a new, not only a new league, but a new world going into the Big 12, especially defensively, where you probably will see far more firepower than you saw in the Big East? And how different do you have to be?
I don't know how much different we have to be. I mean, football is still football. Still played some pretty good teams last year. Every year is different. I mean, what we saw out of, say, Baylor last year, I don't know if we're going to see that out of Baylor this year. I mean, every team's different, and that's why you prepare for a game, and you get a whole week, and you figure out what they got and how they play in, and whether they're faster, whether they're slower, whether they're running the ball, what sets they're doing. And you practice it that week, and then you line up and you play. But my experience in it, like I've said before, is we are going to play more snaps, which means we have to play more people. So we're preparing ourselves for that.
Joe DeForest said that in that league, there are teams that'll just line up receivers and run them deep like 4 or 5 times in a row just to air out your cornerbacks, which seems pretty diabolical. Is stuff like that common as far as like a culture change? Because that's not something you see in many leagues.
We did that at Tech a lot.
Okay.
I think that was Leach being stubborn and daring and risky and all that. But yeah, you'll see that more type stuff. You'll see fast balls, you'll see deep balls. I mean, yeah, it's different. It's different than what, probably it's nothing surprises me because I've been there for a long time. But yeah, definitely different than huddling and being slow, which is what has occurred around here for a while.
That's something you can't really. I mean, right now you can't tell guys about that. I'm guessing that's the day.
I don't know. We're not worried about them right now.
Right.
That's kind of been the common theme for our for camp in the spring is we worry about us and we try to get ourselves better at what we're doing and try to figure out who is going to be the guys that play. And then the closer you get the game, the more you start worrying about them.
Dana, Gino said over the summer he gained some weight and he hoped it would help him with his arm strength a little bit. First few days, but have you seen anything out of him that indicates that's true?
Yeah, I think so. He's moving around better. His leadership skills are better. His communication's better. His arm strength's better. The body looks better. So looks better.
So does that open up playbook things that you had that you didn't use because he's got a little arm strength or not?
Nah, and I mean, Gino's not going to be the one that's going to win us a bunch of games. It's him and the other 10 guys around him. So there may be some things. I mean, our offense is obviously always going to explore other options of trying to move the ball and get first down. So it's not going to look a whole lot different than what it's looked like in the past.
Dana, have you had a wide receiver yet among the young guys that make you say, wow?
No, except for Squirt. Well, I mean, that guy's he's something. But he'll play. Obviously, he's a true freshman that'll play. And then you look at the other 4 trusts, Robinson, Mathis, Will Johnson, and Travaris. All 4 of them are repping quite a bit. I mean, if there's a place for them, I wouldn't be opposed to playing all 5 of them. KJ Myers has looked better than he did in the spring. Dante Campbell's looked better than he did in the spring. So, yeah, we got bodies. I'm glad they're all here. So we'll keep repping them. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.